Hello, welcome back to another episode of In My Plant-Based Kitchen. I am Emma Levez-Laroque. I'm a registered holistic nutritionist and a certified plant-based chef. And on a weekly basis, I invite you into my kitchen to talk nutrition, share some tips and ideas on healthy plant-based eating. And today is the day of the week that I do that. So this is episode 13. Let's get started. Today, I wanted to talk about something that I am very passionate about, turmeric or turmeric, depending on how you pronounce it. But I thought about doing this episode because I realized that as the weather is getting a little bit cooler, that I am starting to crave those comforting, warm drinks, healthy drinks. I have my cup of coffee in the morning and I often drink tea through the day, but I really love having some comforting drinks sometimes in the afternoon or in the evening when it's cold and rainy and cool outside. And so it made me think about a couple of turmeric drinks that I like to make in the winter months. I don't tend to do this so much in the summer. I do consume I try to consume turmeric year-round on a daily basis because there are so many benefits. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to make one of my favorite turmeric drinks, and I will share the other one as well. So I'll give you two recipes this week, and hopefully you'll enjoy them as much as I do. These are common. You may have come across them before. People make them in various ways. You can get mixes to make them, but they're very easy to make at home by yourself. So I'm gonna just share that with you today. So first up, let's talk a little bit about what turmeric is. It is, of course, an Indian spice that has been used for many, many centuries and has been associated with health benefits for many centuries. It's been celebrated for its anti-inflammatory powers, or effects. Powers is maybe not the right word. Well, powers is the right word, but anyway, it's celebrated for its anti-inflammatory benefits, its antioxidant properties, and also many anti-cancer properties as well. So in recent years, there have been more than 5,000 articles that have been published in the medical literature about the benefits of turmeric and specifically its active ingredient curcumin. So it is, and more studies are ongoing. It's a well-known, very beneficial spice to include on a daily basis. And if you are a follower of Dr. Michael Greger, you'll know that he recommends taking a quarter of a teaspoon of turmeric a day to help to reduce inflammation, systemic inflammation, as well as benefit from the anti-cancer properties that I mentioned. So why is it beneficial? I've already sort of gone over that, but really daily consumption at a culinary dose, which is considered to be about a quarter of a teaspoon, or sometimes like this recipe uses a half teaspoon of turmeric, but if you're consuming it every single day, a quarter of a teaspoon should do the trick. And this kind of consumption is believed to have many, many benefits. As I said, to reduce systemic inflammation, to help counter all the oxidative stress that we encounter on a daily basis. And many studies have been done with impressive results around patients who have various types of cancer, rheumatoid arthritis, the turmeric being beneficial for those conditions. And it's believed to help people recover better after surgery as well. So those are just in a nutshell, some of the reasons you might want to include turmeric on a daily basis. Couple of cautions. There are some people who should be careful with the consumption of turmeric, especially regular consumption. And those are people who have gallstones, because curcumin stimulates the action of the gallbladder, and that can cause problems for people who have gallstones. And then people who are on some medications like blood thinners, for example, turmeric and curcumin can interact with those. So if you're on some kind of medication, just check with your pharmacist or your doctor to make sure that this isn't going to interact. But generally, turmeric is a very healthy thing for most people to include. So How do you do it? What are some ideas? Of course, curries. I often, and the way I get it in the summer is I'll make a turmeric iced tea, which is actually a very similar to the second recipe I'm going to talk about today, but it's cold. Or I will just put some in my smoothies, which I like to have, especially in the summer. I make a tofu scramble almost every week, and that has a good amount of turmeric in it. And there are lots and lots of different ways. I also make a seed sprinkle that has some turmeric in it, and I put that on salads and on top of soups and things like that, or in wraps, just to get those extra vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytochemicals into my diet on a daily basis. And it's really easy if you just have these things available, and you can sprinkle them onto anything. It is important to note that curcumin supplements have not been shown to have the same benefits as the actual powder. And that is of just the culinary powder that you can buy at the grocery store. And that is actually kind of a cool thing, because it's not that expensive, and supplements can be very expensive. So just go out and get yourself some turmeric powder, or even the root. It's not uncommon now to see the root that you can just buy, like ginger root. It looks very similar to this stuff. It's bright orange. Watch out for staining on your fingers or your Vitamix or anything that you're using turmeric powder or turmeric in. Yeah. And in the winter, a couple of my favorite ways to include turmeric are these teas. So the first one, the one I'm going to make today, is golden milk. I'm going to put just plug my hot plate in, because I'm going to start making it now with you. Bring that down a little. And the first thing I do, if I'm making 2 mugs, or I'll do this twice. And if I make it once, I don't like to do more dishes than I have to. So I use the mug to measure it out. And the first thing I'm going to add is the amount of milk. So I've got some almond milk here, but you can use any plant-based milk, is a great base for it. And you just pour that into your saucepan. The next thing I want, I've got some turmeric powder here, and I'm going to use about half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. It is a little bit bitter, so I like to usually put a little bit of maple syrup in to sweeten it up. But some people just like to have it kind of straight too, so that's fine. It just depends on your taste. Then the next thing I'm going to do is add some ginger, and I just like to slice the ginger up. This is an organic ginger root, so I'm not worried about putting the skin right in there. You can do this based on how much ginger flavor you like. I think the recipe says a few slices. It's pretty open anyway, but this is going to add a really nice gingery flavor to it. And of course, ginger has its own anti-nausea and anti-inflammatory and pain control and all kinds of benefits to ginger as well. You are going to want to just keep stirring this. What we want to do is we want to bring it almost like, just so it's steaming, but not to boil it, because just like regular milk or non-dairy milk, dairy milk, both of them will get a skim on the top, and it will burn if you heat it too hot and too long. So you want to keep an eye on it. And the other really important piece is you want to put in a pinch of pepper, black pepper. And the reason for this is that black pepper activates the curcumin that is as I said, the active ingredient in turmeric. And it makes the absorption of, helps us to absorb up to, I think it's something like 8 times the amount of the powerful ingredient. So it's a great thing to add a little pinch, and you're not going to taste it. In fact, I don't know, it adds just something in the background that I really, really like. And that really is all there is to it. We're just going to bring it, like I said, start it steaming, and then we're going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes and then pour it, or 5 minutes even. It's just because you're not going to be consuming, obviously, the ginger. You're going to strain that out at the end. And then this gives it a chance to steep in. And then if you're going to make the other one, the only difference, and like I said, I'll share both of these recipes on my blog this week, so you can go and take a look at them both, is that this one, the other one is water-based. So if you want something, I like this when I'm looking for something a bit comforting, having that milk base is very, I find that it's just really nice and comforting. And a little bit of fat that is in the almond milk, it's just a tiny bit of the fat from the nuts, is going to also help you to absorb some of the that helps you to absorb some of the turmeric as well. But you can do a water-based version, and that just has a water base, the juice of about half a lemon. So that's usually about 1 to 2 tablespoons. And again, you can make it to taste. Another half teaspoon of turmeric powder per cup. And then the pinch of small pepper and the 3 slices of ginger. You make it the same way. You steep the ginger. That one you have to watch less closely because you're not going to burn the water or that mixture. So that's if you don't have time to stand there and watch it, then you could make that one. And it's really nice because it's got the lemon in it as well. So it's like a lemony ginger. I often will make that if I've got a cold or something like that. So that's a really nice one too. And that's the one I make into an iced tea in the summer. And then both of them, you just add a little bit of sweetener, a little bit of maple syrup to taste, if you want to add that at the end, and off you go to the races. It's a lovely way to include turmeric in your diet on a regular basis. Or, just one more way that you can get it in. Including it in lots of different ways is usually the trick, not necessarily getting stuck on one thing. And like I said, curries, soups, I do a lemony lentil soup that I put turmeric into. When you become aware of its benefits, so many spices and herbs have benefits. And so they're just a great thing to add to your diet regular anyway, but turmeric is particularly potent. So it's a great thing to think about adding wherever you can. And I think that awareness piece, just like with greens, if you think about, I did a video a few weeks ago about the power of greens and different ways that you can get more greens into your diet. And it's really just about, when you go to eat, thinking about, how can I make this a little bit more healthy? How can I add some greens to this? How can I add some turmeric to it? So it's just about that awareness, raising that awareness and inspiration. But I think you're going to love this milk. I'll come back and show you the finished product, because it's going to take a few minutes to steep, and I'm going to put it back into this beautiful glass. So it's going to look, it looks lovely as well. And the other thing I do is add a little pinch of cinnamon to the top as well, which helps to add a little bit of sweetness too. And then you can, then that helps me to cut down on the maple syrup that I'm going to add to it. So I will be back momentarily with the finished product. Okay, so our golden milk has been simmering away here for about 10 minutes, and it is ready. I'm going to just pour it through the sieve so I can catch the ginger slices and compost those. And the next thing is, I want to add a tiny pinch of cinnamon to the top. Actually, you know what? I'm going to add a tiny bit of maple syrup first, and then I'm going to stir it up. Just add like maybe just a tiny bit. Just takes the bite off of the turmeric, and then just a little touch of cinnamon at the top. The other thing that's really nice, if you want to get fancy with the presentation of this, is to do some steamed milk. If you've got a milk steamer, some froth milk, a milk frother, or a cinnamon stick to put into it. And it's such a nice, a really nice drink to share with guests, or just for yourself, something cozy to have near your fire on a windy evening. But the only other thing I want to mention is, especially with the water version, you do probably want to keep a stir stick. Actually, that's kind of why the cinnamon stick is kind of nice. it does separate. So you want to keep stirring it up and just as you enjoy it. So that is the video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, I am going to be on my way to Malta. So I will be sharing some travel videos, assuming I can get the text sorted out, about what we're doing, what we're eating on the road. So In My Plant-Based Kitchen is going on the road, but I have one more video to do, and I'm going to do that about the foods that I'm taking to help me cook on the road. So we're going to be talking some spice mixes, so don't miss that. Hope to see you again. And if you have, I'm not going to be taking questions for the next few weeks because we will be on the road and I'll just be doing the videos as we go. But if you do have questions, I will work them in November, later November, December. So send them along with the form, subscribe to the newsletter in the link below, and I will see you again soon. Have a great week.